Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on Nta News24. We're live in Abuja. I'm Comfort Amadu. Let's bring you the headlines. Federal government to harness potentials of Nigerian healthcare professionals in the diaspora. Nigerian Police Trust Fund pledges upgrade of police facilities nationwide. National Population Commission targets partnership with organizations to aid national planning and development. A correspondent gives vivid analysis of impacts of flood farming. Thanks for joining us. Federal government is strategizing to harness the vast potential of Nigerian healthcare professionals in the diaspora with the target of improving the sector. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, revealed this at the Stakeholders Forum for implementation of the Nigerian health professionals in the Diaspora Engagement Program, put together by the Public-Private Partnership Diaspora Unit of the Ministry. Oluseyi Adeagbo reports.
Health worker migration or brain drain is high in Nigeria, as current statistics on the skilled health worker to patient ratio is put at 1 per 9,000 patients, far below the World Health Organization's target. This engagement is on strengthening partnership that will enable Nigeria to utilize experiences and knowledge of diaspora health professionals.
This forum therefore provides us with unique opportunity to chart a clear course on how we can deepen the engagement between the government and Nigeria health professionals in diaspora.
When they go out there, they get exposed and they excel. And they always have a bit of Nigeria in their heart. They always want to bring back home. And I think the benefit we are going to derive from here, they are going to bring the expertise back home.
Other submissions at the meeting provided key insights on policies and programs of the renewed Hope Health sector-wide approach to improve Nigeria's healthcare system through public-private partnerships. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adeagbo, Nta News.
And we're still on health matters with Nigeria and her way to ending all crises relating to slow public health emergency response through legislative reforms. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Ali Pate, and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention are engaging the Senate Committee on Primary Health Care and Disease Control to introduce a public health emergency response bill that will bring in the capacity to fight public health emergencies and strengthen the CDC.
This review in the context of the intellectual property regime that allows us to foster innovation, that allows even our scientists their own knowledge, their own research to be protected, so that it's not also filtered and somewhere else for someone to have the benefit. So I want to put it on the table of the legislature to also consider contingency financing.
We're looking at environmental surveillance because you need to look at air pollution, water pollution, a sewage system, wastewater. If we don't go through surveillance of that, this is where we can catch a lot of this happening here.
Chairman Senate Committee on Primary Health Care and Disease Control, Tony Nwoye, admitted that the legislative gap in tackling public health emergency in Nigeria needs urgent attention.
Stakeholders in developing evidence-based legislative reforms, allocate sufficient resources and funding for public health initiatives, support research and innovation in healthcare systems. Finally, we should ensure that there is effective implementation and monitoring of reforms.
Key players are seeking an immediate legislative reforms for increased funding for emergency preparedness in Nigeria. And still on health, but from the confluence state. In line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to improve healthcare services in rural areas, critical medical equipment have been donated to 2 primary health centers in Ijumu local government area of Kogi State through the National Lottery Trust Fund. Jonathan Omajali has more on this inauguration of the equipment, which took place in Ikoyi and Iyagbede communities.
In line with its mission to address critical needs, the National Lottery Trust Fund identified 2 communities in Ijumu local government area of Kogi State to enhance their health sectors. The communities, Iyagbede and Ikoyi, were in joyous mood as various medical equipment, including diagnostic equipment, surgical tools, patient care supplies, and laboratory diagnostic instruments, among others, were given to their primary health centers. For Iyagbede, it was a day of double celebration, with the inauguration coinciding with his annual cultural celebration. Tosin Adeyanju, the Executive Secretary of the National Lottery Trust Fund, represented, stated that the government will continue to enhance health services to meet community needs.
Let them take ownership of it and utilize it well, because the agency will be coming for monitoring and feedback.
Actually, the people are happy, and we have told them that it's just the beginning of the dividend of democracy they have started seeing.
This is just the beginning of the good things that will come to Ejimo land. And with the assistance of the minister, I think we will even do more than what they have asked.
Stakeholders praised the initiative as a clear sign of the government's commitment to addressing health issues in rural areas, and requested the establishment of a cottage hospital.
Very special day that we have to commission the multi-million health care equipment we were given.
You are championing health for your community, and you are blessed that the federal government has recognized this particular opportunity, and they have come to honor us with this. It is a wonderful thing.
We need an improvement, and that is why we have looked at the aspect of a cottage hospital, health facilities to be made available into this place.
Ikoyi Primary Health Center also took delivery of the items worth over 150 million naira. Jonathan Omajali, Nta News.
All right, let's turn our attention to Ministry of Steel Development, which is planning a 1-month boot camp training for youths to empower them with advanced technical skills in welding and fabrication, equipment support for business growth, including job creation and sustainable livelihood. And those eligible are ones between the ages 18 and 40. Interested applicants should log on to the ministry's website on www.msd.gov.ng. An application closes on the 30th of October 2024. Well, with me in the studio to give more insight into this development is the Minister of State Steel Development, Uba Megari Amadu. Good morning, Honorable Minister. Thanks for joining us on the news.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Start by asking you what actually informed this initiative.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. What really informed this is our drive as a ministry to make contributions towards nation building. We all know that no nation actually develops industrially without first of all taking care of its steel sector. And having said that, we at the ministry conceived, in fact, this is directly off my desk, we conceived this idea of a program to basically train Nigerian youths, artisanal welders, those who have already started learning the trade, and those who are interested in learning the trade of welding. And We are focusing now on 1,000. We actually planned to take 10,000 young people, but of course we have competing demands and budgetary constraints. That's why we ended up with 1,000, and eventually we are only able to take in 700 on this stretch. What we intend to do is to assemble them in Onitsha. You probably have heard about the Metallurgical Training Institute, MTI, a specialist school that was set up during the Shagari regime, basically to train middle cadre professionals to service the state sector. We intend to assemble them and train them like you rightly said in the forerunner, in metal fabrication, systems and control, instrumentation, foundries, mechanical maintenance, and issues like that. This sector has suffered neglect, so much so that we have a dearth of professionals in that particular sector. That is what we are trying to bridge. Train professionals in that sector to probably upscale their trade when they go through this 30 days boot camp. You would have noticed that it is supposed to be a continuous program. After this 30-day boot camp, of course, we'll attach them to much more established welders, so that they continue to mentor them and get them to the level they will be weaned off, and they are able to stay on their own, and probably, like we anticipate, employ more people. After the 30-day boot camp, of course, we intend to support them with equipment, basic equipment, to start off on their own. We have this problem with growing up with our parents wanting to have every one of us as either engineers or lawyers or medical doctors. There's nothing wrong with that. But the world we live in today requires technicians and skilled professionals like welders as much as it requires the services of doctors and engineers. And that is the gap we're trying to bridge.
Okay, so I wanted to ask if this is just a one-month thing or it's going to extend beyond that, but I would like you to speak to whether it's going to be replicated across the regions of the country or just specifically Abuja alone.
Of course, we'll want to do much more. Like I said earlier, we have constraints, and we are looking at them. We would want to do much more. Even the initial concept was targeted as taking 10,000. We still want to do 10,000, but it will be instrumentally. Now we are going to take 700, after which we will review the successes like we anticipate. It's already hitting the airwaves. It's virtually everywhere. And as at the last time we checked on Friday, over 48,000, it will amaze you to find out that over 48,000 young people have registered for a program to take in 700 at a go. And that speaks to the issues we are trying to solve. The moment we reel out these programs targeted at getting our young people engaged in a manner that they can also sustain themselves and employ some others, you will believe me that subsequently there will be need to replicate these programs in many folds. Even now, as we speak, we have spoken and we have a commitment to engage the government of Kano State. They are interested in replicating the program at the subnational level. We are talking to some other states, but for now, we have initiated conversation with Kano State. Is at the level. We don't want to jump the cart, so I will just leave it at that. It is a program that has great potential, and I'm sure by the time we roll out this particular one, many more subnationals will come in, because I know as a matter of fact that there are very many states that have something like this, but in a small scale. We know states that have small skill acquisition centers. What we are doing is like improving on those centers. specifically in the area of welding and metal fabrication. Just recently, a brother of mine sent me something very interesting, and it will surprise you to find out that it is an advertisement placed somewhere in a far-flung country named Azerbaijan, requesting for trained welders, specialist welders and metal fabricators. And how much are they going to pay them? $2,500 per month, with accommodation and some other things to make their lives comfortable. So just imagine that we are able to train 1,000 welders. By the way, we have a relationship with the International Welding Federation and the Nigerian component too. Just imagine that we are able to get 10,000 Nigerians who are trained in welding, and we are able to export just 5,000 with the needed accreditation and certifications that usually come after these basic trainings. Imagine how much we can get back by way of repatriation of the forex they are going to earn. That is a very wonderful thing to look at, and we are doing so much to make sure that everything falls in place and we don't have mistakes. I'm optimistic this is going to change the narrative as it concerns our relationship with our young people, that we are trying to engage in a productive venture to sustain themselves and make their contributions in the nation's GDP and the nation's economy as well.
Come in here, Honorable Minister. I understand we're targeting, or the ministry is targeting, 700 persons for now, and looking to expand. But this 700 persons, after this training, I know you talked about job creation. Would there be some sort of job opportunities for all of them, or apprenticeships after this boot camp?
Definitely. These are people who don't actually have need to go looking for jobs. But for those who are interested in working under some people, when you check the numbers, you'll be surprised. I'll give you one example. There is this incredible Nigerian, Innocent, who assembles his vehicle somewhere in Nnewi. Sometimes last year, we took a facility tour of the institute, the Metallurgical Training Institute in Onitsha. And by way of just seeing what they do, we went to the Innocent Vehicles plant. He told us himself that he doesn't go looking for workers. All he does is he waits after every graduation circle of the institute. He just mops the best students from there straight to his factory. That gives you the exact value of qualified welders, metal fabricators, expert in foundries and mechanical maintenance systems and instrumentation control. They are much sought after, especially in the oil and gas, telecoms sectors. Name them. They are much sought after. They don't go looking for jobs. But for those who are interested in working under established engineering firms, we have partnerships with so many of them. That will lead us to the next big thing we have in the offing. But so as not to preempt your questions, I would just wait for you so that we roll it on and see how it goes.
To know where the location of this boot camp is, because there are so many people that are willing to join the exercise, as you've already started witnessing the influx of registration.
Yes. It's going to be held in Onitsha, 30 days in Onitsha. Like I said, we have the Metallurgical Training Institute. By the way, it was set up by the Shagari regime in 1981. Many people don't even know the school exists. It's still there. That is where we intend to host it for a number of reasons. We intend to pool the resource persons from all over. But having an institute like that, we have the workshops, we have the equipment on ground and the environment, and we want to bring them all together in one place in 2 batches and train them. They will be housed there, after which, like I said, we will provide basic equipment for them to enable them start on their own. The Metallurgical Training Institute has been there, like I said, since 1981, and I would advise and plead that Nigerians around, especially in the southeast, take time out to go and see what our founding fathers have done to put Nigeria on its industrial path. Unfortunately, for a number of reasons, we've not maximally put the institute to use, and that is one thing this government is doing to put Nigeria, get Nigeria back on its industrial trajectory.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of State Steel Development, Uba Megari Amadu, for finding out time to be part of this news this morning to speak to this development. And we also hope that the youths will leverage this opportunity to have or gain hands-on experience.
They will. They will. Like I said, at the close of work on Friday, we already had over 49,000 who have shown interest. And that tells you that Nigerian youths are not lazy. They are willing to take on opportunities as long as they are available. And before I leave you, I'll leave you with this. There is this project that we are cooking up also. It's called the Greenhouse Initiative. We inherited presidential approval to recover abandoned vessels, ships, barges, and tankers littered all over Nigerian waterways. And what we intend to do with it, we tweaked it in such a manner that we went into partnership with 4 indigenous steel manufacturing plants. We'll recover the ships. There are over 3,000 of them between Lagos and Bayelsa. We recover them first, then we break them down. By the way, the shipbreaking industry is another thriving concern between Germany, China, and Greece, Indonesia, and Bangladesh. They are making billions of dollars from shipbreaking. But for a start, we intend to break them down in partnership with 4 indigenous steel manufacturing, steel making plants, and we want to use those scrap metals to produce greenhouses. For the pilot project, we are looking at 100,000 pieces of greenhouses. And one company out of, I hope I'm not taking too much of your time, one company out of the 4 has sent in a prototype which will have a solar panel on top and refrigeration facility. What we intend to do is we attach 1 greenhouse per person, per young person, and have him trained in either growing vegetables or wheat or sweet corn or whatever. You will need to go online and check how much sweet corn sells. Okay.
We will speak further to this thing, probably Good Morning Nigeria or any other flagship program, because it's a great initiative by the ministry. Thank you so much for being part of the news.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a break. More stories ahead. Don't go away. Grace, how
sweet the sound. The family of late Dangfom Miscom John Katkwap Thailand of Shandam, Plateau State, announces the sudden demise of their dear son, brother, grandson, husband, father, and friend, late Mr. Richard Adamutale, whose sad event occurred early hours on Sunday, October 6, 2024. The late Richard Thailand, who died at the age of 42 years in Abuja after a brief illness, is survived by a mother, wife, 3 children, 4 sisters, and in-laws. Burial arrangement. Tuesday, October 15, 2024, there will be a Christian wake-keep at St. Finbar's Catholic Church, Wayfield, Jos, Plateau State. Time, 4 p.m. Wednesday, October 16, 2024, sympathizers are to assemble at Air Force Military Hospital, Wayfield, Jos. Time, 7 a.m. The corpse will be conveyed from the hospital immediately thereafter to Shandam Town. Requiem Mass will take place at Sacred Heart Catholic Cathedral, Shandam, at 11 a.m. Final interment will be immediately after Mass at the family compound, GRA, Shandam, Yelwa Road. Announcer, Air Vice Marshal U.S. Abbas, retired, for the family.
Sokoto State Government has donated 10 vehicles to support military operations in the Northwest region. Governor Ahmed Aliyu handed over the vehicles to the Minister of State Defense Bello Mohammed at a brief ceremony in Sokoto. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports from there.
Fight against bandits, kidnappers and other criminal elements in the Northwest is gathering more momentum with a recent visit to the frontline areas in Sokoto State by the Minister for State Defense, Bello Mohammed. To complement the efforts, Governor Ahmed Ali unveils 10 operational vehicles for security forces at the instance of the minister. Governor Ali commended the president for his foresight and political will to tackle insecurity in the region, reiterating that his administration will continue to collaborate with the federal government to end banditry and criminality in the country.
We need to support Mr. President. We need to support his policies. We need to support his program, and we need to pray for Mr. President to succeed.
Minister of State Defense Bello Mohammed described the gesture as commendable, adding that it will further motivate the federal government to provide maximum support to troops of Operation Fansariyama to counter banditry and crimes in the frontline areas. The minister revealed that the federal government is deploying CNG vehicles to Sokoto State, along with provision of refueling centers and conversion kits to ease transportation difficulties.
That shows his resilience and his commitment to ensure that Sokoto is free from all form of criminality.
The General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army Sokoto, Brigadier General Ibikunle Ajose, appreciates the governor for his administration's sustained support to security agencies in the state. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, Nta News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Abiodun Lagbaja, has inaugurated a newly renovated, remodeled and equipped ultra-modern 10-classroom story building at a community secondary school, Isi Uzo, local government area of Enugu State. Lieutenant General Lagbaja at the inauguration advised the community to guard the project jealously. Matthew Amoke reports.
The school building project is a special intervention project in furtherance of the Army's civil-military cooperation and kinetic approach to the security of the country. Chief of Army Staff represented, as well as the Chief of Civil-Military Affairs, called for the continued support of the Nigerian Army in her quest to secure the nation.
On our part, I want to assure the nation that the Nigerian Army will continue to carry out kinetic and non-kinetic operations to address the security challenges facing the country.
The Chief of Army Staff Special Intervention Civil Military Cooperation Progress Scheme is an initiative that seeks to strengthen civil military relations, promote collaboration and community development.
The project executor, Major General J.O. Woki, and the Enugu State Governor represented, extolled the Nigerian Army for their efforts at keeping the nation secured, while calling on members of Mbu community to protect the facilities provided for them.
For every of our people who will go to school here, make sure that you don't betray the purpose for which this edifice was built. That is to say, be studious. Let us find you worthy in character and learning.
The highly elected members of the community thanked the Nigerian Army for the honor done to them and promised to put the edifice into good use.
We are really very, very grateful to the Nigerian Army for what such a wonderful project cited in my own community.
What they did for us, we stand as a beacon of hope for future generations. May God bless them.
In Enugu, Susan Eze, Nta News.
And time for another breather. More stories ahead.
The dreams that our founding fathers envisaged are still work in progress. Every day, we put our hands on the plow, determined to do a better job of it. While it is tempting to focus on what has been left undone and where we have stumbled as a nation, we must never lose sight of how far we have come in forging and holding our country together.
Welcome back. Federal government is set to upgrade all police facilities in the country to enable it deliver optimally on its mandate. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Mohammed Shaidu, gave the assurance while inspecting the facilities at the Police Staff College in River and the Detective College in Enugu. All right, I'll bring you details of that report in our subsequent bulletin. Now to other developing stories. As the 14th of October every year is set aside as the World Standards Day, and it is primarily for the recognition of the essential role of international standards in creating a more connected, secure and sustainable world. The theme for the 2024 day is Shared Vision for a Better World, Spotlight on SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure in the Age of AI. Now, with me in the studio to talk more on this is Yahya Bukar, Director of Standards Development Department, Standard Organization of Nigeria, Standards Organization of Nigeria, and he's here in the studio to speak to this day. So let's start by asking you, what do Nigerians need to know about standards when it comes to purchasing anything?
Thank you very much. My name is Engineer Yahya Bukar, as you have mentioned. Now today you have, you know that the world is celebrating every 14th of October every year. The world celebrates the World Standard Day. And this celebration is actually meant to complement the effort of the experts, the national experts who developed this standard in the interest of ensuring that the world is a safe place. Now, the spotlight for the World Standard Day, which theme you have already mentioned, which is the theme you have already mentioned, which is to
a shared vision for
a better world, spotlight on SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 9. Sustainable Development Goal 9 is about innovation, industrialization, and infrastructure. What that implies is that in the present world, where artificial intelligence is making things easier, the World Standard Body came together to see how standard can support the use of this artificial intelligence in improving industrialization and also ensuring that infrastructures are resilient and ensuring also that you have cutting-edge innovations. What are these innovations, and what is AI? We know that AI is computer-aided technology, where you ensure that this AI are applied in the industry, and then also applied in infrastructural development. If you build a bridge, for instance, you can use artificial intelligence nowadays to simulate when these bridges are going to collapse, and also be able to know how to maintain them. And then in industry as well, we are now using artificial intelligence to mass produce a lot of things. What human cannot do easily, artificial intelligence can support it to be able to mass produce some of these products. And also in research, we apply artificial intelligence to ensure that research and development become very easy for us to be able to apply them in ensuring economic development.
Okay, so let In there, there's a lot going on because of the revolution around several things. But I would like you to tell us what the Standard Organization is doing to promote industrial growth and to build strong economic institutions.
Okay, thank you very much. Recently, we launched about 88 standard when the government is talking about CNG. Because of the removal of subsidy, there's a need for us to have an alternative fuel to make life easier for Nigerians. And as such, the presidential CNG initiative now involve some in the development of standard for the application of these CNGs. And now some of the CNG, because it's a new product coming to Nigeria, we need to have a standard in place to ensure that these products are safe for use. CNG, the pressure of CNG gas is about 200 bars, and so it makes it very delicate for application. And for that, you need a standard in place to ensure that quality cylinders are imported into Nigeria to support this government initiative, and also quality components are brought in to ensure the conversion of the CNG gas into for use for vehicles. These vehicles are, for now, they are using petrol. And so if you want to change it convert from CNG to petrol, you actually need to use some of these components, CNG components, which are supposed to be of high quality. The moment they are not of high quality, you can have explosions. And that is why Standard Organization of Nigeria had developed about 88 standards to provide this support to ensure that quality products are imported to be able to assist the government in implementing this program. And furthermore, we are also, through the use of computer, we are ensuring that businesses are made easier when you engage with SON. For instance, we have already implemented this e-demand node and e-receipt, where you can purchase standard, you can transact any business with SON through online applications. We are also ensuring that products, when you buy products, you can find out whether those products are of high quality using what we call the product authentication mark. And this product authentication mark is just like what you normally put on the product. You scratch it and then be able to verify whether these products are of quality or not. And then you also have product identification scheme. We have product authentication mark and product identification scheme. Those ones are being done to support the computer application in the services of SON.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer Bukar, for the insight there. The need to ensure standards cannot be overemphasized, and this is an interesting conversation that we'd like to keep on, but we'll shift it to a better day to talk about it because we're pressed for time right now. Thank you so much for making out time to be part of the news. All right, in a move to revitalize the People's Democratic Party structure and restoring confidence among its members, the National Treasurer Ahmed Yayari Mohammed says he has officially assumed duty as the acting national chairman of the PDP. His inaugural address to party members, made available to the media in Abuja this Sunday, expressed gratitude for the overwhelming support he has received, acknowledging the urgent need for self-examination within the party. And he emphasized that the recent internal conflicts and a deviation from core values have hindered the PDP's effectiveness as a formidable opposition force in Nigerian politics. And the factional chairman outlined his commitment to adhering strictly to the party's constitution and ensuring fair treatment for all members, regardless of their position. He also announced plans to convene the long-awaited National Executive Committee meeting on October 24 and urged the North Central Zone entitled to nominate a replacement for former National Chairman Yochia Yu to act promptly in forwarding its nominee for NEC consideration. All right, the National Population Commission is open to local and foreign partnerships that will drive development of population data generation to aid national planning. MPC Chairman Nasir Isakwara, while delivering a paper titled The Power of Partnerships, Co-Developing Population Data for National Planning at the 10th anniversary of the World POP in Southampton, United Kingdom, explains that Nigeria is with an estimated population exceeding 200 million, therefore harnessing collective strengths of key players through strategic partnership is not just an advantageous but indispensable. Aquara underscores accurate population data as a backbone for resource allocation and policy formulation across vital sectors, as he called for a continued collaboration on accurate data-driven responses. In 2007, the United Nations General Assembly declared October 15 as International Rural Women's Day, a day set aside to honor the immense contributions and resilience of rural women around the globe. This day also highlights the pivotal role these women play in sustaining food security and driving agricultural progress. As Nigeria joins the global celebration, our correspondent Abdullahi Mustafa visited Dumaji, a vibrant farming community in Kano State, where he observed that a special significance is given to several transformative projects.
Dumaji, a flourishing agricultural community in Kano State, thrives year-round due to efficient irrigation. For young farmer Abdullahi Adamu, the harvest season is promising, but he dreams of higher yields with access to modern machinery.
I am expecting 3 bags from this particular field, but when combined with the yield from the other 2 plots, I could get a total of 60 to 65 bags.
In the same community, Farida Muhammad and fellow agro-processors celebrate International Rural Women's Day and World Food Day, marking the opening of a rice processing center by Women Farmers Advancement Network, WOFAN.
Whenever the rice is processed, we use the polisher to polish the rice, the destoner to destone it, and it's ready for consumption.
This facility, along with maize threshing machines, electric motorcycles, and 24 logistics tricycles, boosts productivity and empowers local farmers.
When they process, off-takers come to buy their rice from here, and they pay through the POS. So it makes it a complete agro-business that we are doing in this location.
Beyond agriculture, WOFAN supports people with special needs, providing a business hub, a solar-powered borehole, and opportunities for the entire community. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, Nta News.
The Africa Climate Forum is a premier platform dedicated to advancing climate action and sustainable development on the African continent, building on the success of our inaugural edition. The second Africa Climate Forum 2024 will focus on addressing the critical issue of energy transition in Africa. Consequently, the 2024 African Climate Forum Summit on Climate Resistance, Sustainable Development and Green Innovation is underway in Abuja. And we will join Charles Alpha, who is at the venue of the event, to give us an update on the proceedings there. Good morning, Charles.
Comfort, good morning.
All right, Charles Alpha, what's the proceeding there? What's the plan towards ensuring that issue of climate change is addressed?
Okay, Comfort, thank you very much, and all of those viewers watching. I want to say thank you for hooking me up right now. Now, the thing is, there are a lot of global climate crisis that not only Nigeria or some of the African countries are suffering from. And what is happening here, it's coming on the heels of the African climate summit back then in Nairobi in 2023, where African leaders decided to unite, collaborate, and sort themselves out internally, given the kind of resources that they have in Africa. And there are a lot of global treaties that are being reached, a lot of global commitments, global decisions that are affecting developing countries. And you talk about the net zero target, you talk about the biodiversity target, you talk about the climate plastic management in South Korea, which is coming next month, where countries will have to decide on a lot of treaties and how they can. These are some of the global decisions that developing countries are suffering from. And why are they suffering from this? They lack the wherewithal, they lack the resources to be able to deal with some of the climate actions that they have. And so what this event is all about is sorting their solutions internally. What this climate summit, African Climate Forum, it's all about is trying to provide a kind of mechanism for African leaders to be able to look inward and see how can they pull resources together to be able to overcome the kind of climate impact that we are seeing. Nigeria recently had its own fair share of the flood impact that we saw in Borno State. So basically, we are having political leaders, government officials, policymakers that are here who are meeting to shed lights on how best can Africa galvanize resources, pull investment together to be able to mitigate the kind of climate impact that we'll see. Africa can no longer continue to depend on the kind of handouts that the big countries are giving out to African countries. You talk about Germany, for instance. You talk about the United States, for instance. You talk about France and a whole lot of developed world who are the biggest emitters, contributing to global warming, whereas Africa is contributing less to, the global impact that we are having here today. So what this forum basically is all about is how to galvanize African leaders to be able to get the kind of resources that they need to mitigate their own climate action, develop their own climate action plans, and see how they can move from there.
Thank you so much, Charles Alpha, for the update from the venue of the event there. We know there are lots of issues around climate issue globally, from global warming to flooding and even desertification. But what exactly is the summit focusing on this year?
Can you come again, please?
To get more update there, let's move on with the news now. As part of government's strategy to assist vulnerable individuals rebuild their lives, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has distributed empowerment kits to people affected by crisis and displacement in Anambra State. Joy Iliobu reports.
Crisis and displacement reports show can have lasting effects on individuals and communities as they struggle to find their feet. It is against this background that the federal government, through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, distributed over 100 barbing and sewing kits to persons in Awka North and South local government areas of Anambra State to support and empower those affected by crisis and displacement rebuild their lives in the current economic situation.
My advice is that they will not sell those items. Let them go and make use of it. Because when they make use of it, they'll have money.
Executive Secretary, Anambra State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Paul Odenibo, who was represented by Ndidi Omega, pointed out that the kits represent an investment in skills, creativity, and ambition.
On behalf of the state government, I wish to thank the federal government, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, NCI, for their kind gesture to the state.
I benefited today. I'm so happy because it will help me
to even generate more income.
I just want to appreciate the federal government for doing a great job.
They did well. They did well and they continue doing well.
Meanwhile, the Commission says it is working towards establishing skill acquisition centers in each of the 6 geopolitical zones and that it will serve as training hubs for people of concern in all states in the Southeast Zone. In Oka, Joy Ilwebu, Nta News.
Let's now get more updates on the Super Eagles of Nigeria that are stranded in Libyan airport for 12 hours ahead of Nations Cup qualifiers on Tuesday.
Ahead of the return leg fixture of the 2025 AFCON qualifiers against Libya on Tuesday, the Nigerian Football Federation NFF, after consulting with the team's doctor and players, have been advised not to honor the game due to the health of the players having been left stranded at the airport. The delegation of Nigeria to the Tuesday's 2025 AFCON qualifier against Libya were left at the Al Abrad airport 12 hours after landing in Libya. Although players and officials who look fatigued have remained calm as the host Libya Football Federation failed to send any reception team or even vehicles to take the delegation from the airport to their hotel, which is said to be 3 hours away in Benghazi. However, plans were made by the NFF to provide a separate vehicles for the team, but the plan failed because of the diversion of the aircraft to a different airport from the previously arranged. According to available information, the players have resolved not to play the match any longer as NFF officials are making plans to fly the team back home. In Abuja, Oche Ngbedi, Nta News.
Minister of Sports Development Senator John Owan Eno has strongly condemned the recent actions of Libyan authorities who held Nigerian Super Eagles and the officials hostage at the Al Abak airport, and the incident occurred after an Nigerian aircraft originally en route to Benghazi was diverted to another city over a 2-hour drive from the intended destination.